Your team isn't quitting because of pay. They're quitting because manufacturing leadership hasn't adapted. Let's get real. The manufacturing talent crisis is here. If you're in ops, supply chain, or manufacturing leadership, you feel it every day. Finding talent is hard. Keeping that talent is even harder. Getting that talent to show up, that's an everyday battle for you. Let's look at some of the numbers. Deloitte says over 2.1 million manufacturing jobs could be unfulfilled by 2030. That's the scale of the talent crisis in manufacturing today. 77% of manufacturing leaders say attracting and retaining a quality workforce is their top challenge, and the generational gap is widening. Fewer young people entering the workforce, experienced workers retiring in droves. I'm Myles Threatt. Thank you for joining me for Legacy Leaders Lounge today. I help operations, manufacturing, and supply chain leaders build adaptive, high-performing teams that thrive in the chaos. And that talent crisis in operations is creating a lot of chaos for us these days. So let's jump back in. But Gen Z isn't just the next generation. They're a whole new workforce with new expectations. And most manufacturing leaders aren't ready for it. And here's what Gen Z really wants. They want meaning and impact. They're asking, how does this job really matter? If a job feels repetitive or disconnected from the bigger purpose, they're gone. They want alignment with their values, sustainability, creativity, and social good. The next thing they're looking for is digital first. They grew up digital. And if your shop floor is analog, or even if it's high-tech behind the scenes, they'll see you as outdated. They want digital skills to be central. Third thing they're looking for is pay clarity, not more competitive pay. If you're not upfront about your pay progression, bonuses, or benefits, Gen Z assumes it's a dead-end job. Next, they're looking for continuous learning. They expect to learn and grow, and for you to invest in them. If your roles look static, you'll lose them to companies that are willing to invest in upskilling. Finally, culture and community. They want flexible dress, open collaboration, and real support for mental health. And if your culture looks old school, they're going to bounce or never show up in the first place. And here's a hard reality. Most manufacturing jobs today barely cover the cost of living. Many workers are forced to take on a second job, start a side gig, just so they can make ends meet. And Gen Z, they see that they can make more freelancing, running their own side hustle on their own terms, on their own schedule, because they're not interested in clocking into a job that feels like it's stuck in the past. If you want to know how to retain manufacturing workers, you need to understand the new rules of engagement. And that's what this episode is all about. Here's the next gut punch. Companies know they're losing critical knowledge right now, and they're worried about it. 72% of managers in retail and manufacturing aren't confident that they can retain the institutional knowledge as older workers leave. That's a massive blind spot in operations and manufacturing leadership strategies right now. Most leaders, they feel the talent risk, but they're not doing any strategic work to solve it. Those boomers, they have decades of real-world experience, but most of it isn't written down anywhere. 57% of boomers said they shared less than half of the job knowledge future successors needed, and 21% of them shared none at all before they retired. And that right there, that's stupid on your part. That's losing the playbook that keeps your operation running. The silver tsunami, as it's called, is real. 10,000 baby boomers are turning 65 years old every day. And many of them are going to retire in the next few years, creating a leadership and skill gap that your hiring alone will never fix. And yet, you still sit on your laurels and do nothing about it. And those boomers, they want to work, but on their terms. They want flexibility. They want balance. and meaningful work. Paid mentoring, coaching roles, part-time shifts, and consulting gigs are your secret weapon. But are you willing to make that transition? See, retirement doesn't have to mean disengagement. Many of them plan to work some after retirement. They kind of want to, but they want to do it part-time or in what we would call an encore career. The workforce is open to blending roles where wisdom and flexibility coexist. And if you're paying attention, did you notice something there? That boomer that's leaving and that Gen Zer that's coming, they have something in common. They want to do work on their terms. They want that flexibility. They want that balance. They're tired of your control. The traditional thinking says we'll recruit fresh talent and hope they grow into their roles. You need to throw that tradition out the window. The contrarian twist is, and the question you should be asking yourself right now, what if we don't let these architects of success walk out the door? They've helped you win in the past. They can help you win now. What if you chose to use their wisdom to actually build the next generation? The reality is, those Gen Zers, they would love that. And those boomers would enjoy it as well. Are you ready to make a change? If you're asking how to retain manufacturing workers and bridge that generational gap, this is your wake-up call. Here's where most leaders fail. They're stuck in the old playbook, rising wages, posting more job ads, and just hoping for the best. That's not leadership. That's wishful thinking. If you want to win this war for talent and solve the manufacturing talent crisis, you need to adapt, and it starts with awareness. Get brutally honest about where you are. Awareness means you got to face the uncomfortable truths about your culture, your pipeline, and your leadership style. One ops leader realized the Gen Z population they were hiring didn't understand how their roles connected to the company mission. So they decided to redesign their onboarding program so that they could connect the dots to how their job aligned with the company mission. Next is decision. Most leaders, they waffle. Adapt leaders make a call. They choose to invest in mentoring, flexible work, and real learning, not just lip service. So if you got a chance to come up with a way to make your shifts more flexible so that you can engage your younger generation and help your older generation stay connected, maybe that is the thing you need to do right now. Third point is adjust. The market moves fast, and adapt leaders, they don't just make decisions and coast. They adjust. And if your approach isn't working right now, you need to pivot. Stubbornness and doing it the old way is not a strategy. You need to look at those jobs. How can you rework those jobs and incorporate some digital technology? Or how can you create learning opportunities for those Gen Z population in your workforce? The third point is performance. And this isn't about being busy. It's all about delivering results, setting clear expectations, measuring what matters, and holding everyone accountable. Build high-performing teams that solve real business problems and drive growth. I was working with one supervisor that started tracking their team engagement and started recognizing those top performers publicly. They saw a boost in morale and retention. And finally, trust. This is the glue that holds it all together. See, in a world where people can work from anywhere, trust is your advantage. So you build trust by following through, by being transparent, and showing that you value their growth and their well-being. The leaders who share the why behind decisions and follow through on their promises, they earn loyalty. And every generation is looking for that one. You want the deep dive on this? Grab your copy of my book, The Adaptive Edge, Leading with Purpose in Turbulent Times. It's packed with frameworks, stories, and step-by-step strategies to help you become the type of leader top talent wants to follow. If you're searching for manufacturing leadership strategies, operations leadership coaching, or ways to retain Gen Z in manufacturing, this is the model that works for you. Grab your copy in the description below. Here's where the rubber meets the road. If you're serious about solving the manufacturing talent crisis, not just talking about it, This is your next step. That's why I created the Ops Leader ROI 30-Day Challenge. It's a 4-week, high-impact group coaching sprint for operations and manufacturing leaders that are ready to cut costs, boost output, and prepare their team for the AI-driven change, all in just 30 days. You will identify and start implementing at least a 10K annualized savings or efficiency improvements guaranteed. Get hands-on practical tools, weekly 90-minute live Zoom sessions, accountability assignments, and a private community for support and peer learning. You will track real progress with baseline surveys, weekly check-ins, and a final ROI submission. And here's the kicker. If you don't identify and begin implementing at least 10K in savings, I'll coach you one-on-one free for a month. That's how confident I am in the process. The next challenge kicks off January 26th. Spots are limited and reserved for leaders ready to take action, not just watch from the sidelines. If you want to be the kind of leader who actually adapts and get measurable ROI, here's your move. Click the link in the description below to register for a call and see if you're fit for the Ops Leader ROI 30-Day Challenge. Let's make 2026 the year you stop losing talent, start building high-performing teams, and lead your operation into the future. I'm Myles Threatt. Thank you for joining me for Legacy Leaders Lounge. I look forward to seeing you on the inside of the challenge.